Oh, yay.
This is from r/Christian marriage. How to deal with cussing and your kids.
Nailed it.
I am much more strict about cussing for myself. I didn't grow up in a household that used that language, and I don't use that language at work. My husband is in landscaping, so he tends to curse like a sailor.
Like sailors on a submarine.
He also grew up around hardened people who use this language. Despite my continued issue with it being used around the house, it is. It has also shown up on kids' shows on YouTube, which is just twisted.
That is so twisted.
Now my 7-year-old has started using bad language more regularly. Ooh, 7-year-old. I would say within the last month it has been a real big issue for me. Before that, he barely let something slip at all. I fought all of the battles, both with my husband and with YouTube. He seems to be split between crying with a tender heart when he gets in trouble about it or laughing about it. Not the husband, I'm assuming the child. Even though I first thought it was the husband, I was like, why is he crying?
It's enough to make a grown man cry.
I have had good conversations with my son to try to give him tools to combat this.
Priceless tools of combat from throughout history.
Consequences, but also letting him know that this is adult language. He needs to speak like a kid and choose to speak using the millions of words out there that aren't bad words. It's a battle I don't want to keep having to fight, but I will.
I will never stop.
I am, however, feeling very defeated and frustrated. I think my husband finally understands that our son is trying to be cool like his dad, so I think he will be more careful. But he doesn't have to directly deal with things like what happened yesterday, where our son said something at summer camp and I had to be the one to deal with it.
What did you do?
What did you do?
What did you do now?
Like, there's no way to force myself out of the situation so that he gets the full brunt of it. We are born again Christian parents who curse a little, trying to be better, trying to teach our children to be better. Please don't comment if it's not going to be constructive. All right. So, what do you think?
How to deal with cussing kids? You get them real familiar with the taste of soap.
I have to go wash my mouth out with soap.
Wash my mouth out with whiskey.
A lot. And then pain.
Oh, I see. Gestapo spank.
Spank that bottom, spank that bottom.
Lots of pain.
Bring the rain.
Spooky 3-2, use 105 shells. Bring the rain.
Be advised, ground teams requesting 105 sable rounds.
But, I mean, I don't understand why they don't know how to punish their kid.
Well, what if, for example, what if you were this person and you were of the opinion that we shouldn't use foul language, and I came around all the time using foul language, but you're trying to teach the kids otherwise. And so the kids, let's say our daughter, wants to be more like her mother, so she's copying me.
Yeah.
Do you think that punishment would still work even if mom was reinforcing it?
Unless you're telling her it's okay that she does it, you wouldn't be reinforcing it, you would just be doing it. And if she's going to do it, she's going to be on the F around and find out chart real quick.
See, as you can see, the more you around, the more you're going to find out.
Because there's plenty of things that adults can do that are perfectly fine, but it's not okay when kids do it. We're not on the same level. We don't play by the same rule. There are rules that are different for them than adults. Period. End of story. It does not matter.
The end. Period.
So, even if the parents are cussing like sailors,
Well, it does
and they
say
say the kids can't and aren't allowed to, then Stick to it. Be a parent.
Never hug your kids. Be a man.
Discipline your kid when they disobey. Plain and simple.
You tell your kids to clean up their toys and they don't, throw all their shit away. Be a man.
If they started grabbing beers and drinking that out of the fridge at 7, are you going to try and figure out a way to get them to stop? Hopefully.
Laugh when your kids fall. Be a man.
So if you could do it for something like that, you can do it for this.
Listen, you got this, man.
Well, in addition to that, I tend to be pretty nuanced, but
okay, it's nuanced.
I mean, consequences for doing it are super important. It says she gives consequences, and it seems like she's had decent talks with them.
Great.
She's saying that she's feeling very defeated and frustrated because it appears as if her husband doesn't feel the same way she does, isn't feeling as convicted about it.
That's in the end of every argument, right, sir? You just stare at her going...
Would she feel defeated if talking to them actually worked? Probably not. So she's feeling defeated on the fact that it keeps happening.
But y'all are the head of the household. What if the head of the household is like, I don't care,
Listen,
and mom's like, meh.
If you're
Meh.
if you're both too much, like if you guys are both so limp that you can't manage to figure out how to have a spine and discipline your kids,
Show some backbone.
this is going to be the very least of your problems as they get older.
Well, she says she gives consequences.
Really? Like what?
I don't know. We'd have to ask. We could see if there's an update later.
It said there was anything like
I have had good conversations and try to give him tools to combat this. Consequences, but also letting him know that this is adult language. So she gave consequences.
Yeah, but what was the consequence of talking to? Time out?
It would depend. We don't know.
I mean, like, I feel like
We
they
could
need to
see
be a
if
little
she
more-
commented something. We'll see. And they curse a little, trying to be better. Okay, so like at least we can say I'm not proud of it, but every now and then we've let one slip.
Are you cussing with me? No, you cussing with me?
Because we're both Christians, and I was brought up slightly different than you were, but still, neither of my parents said swear words. In fact, my dad scoffed at anytime we used the word crap. So
You're not going to cuss with me, you little cuss. Me.
I had the good sense not to do it in front of my parents as I got older because I knew what would happen.
As you get older, but I feel like once we had our own children and we accidentally let one slip, that, for instance, because I wanted to do better, I put soap in my own mouth.
You're right. I'll wash my mouth out with soap.
Because I shouldn't do that. And it was pretty nasty. And it showed the kids that I hold myself to the same standard as themselves, because if I don't want them doing it, I shouldn't be doing it either. And I don't want adults doing it around them either. And so our kids really don't do that out loud because they know that there will be consequences. Anywho, let's see what the comment said. My wife also grew up with much more strict about cussing than I did. The Bible uses strong, coarse language. It does? I mean, it does have very gory details, but I didn't know it had coarse language.
That was coarse. I apologize.
I guess fool. Technically, fool was like a major slight back then.
Interesting.
If I remember correctly. It was a big deal if someone called you a fool. It means you were like the biggest idiot. What we teach our kids is that there are no bad words, but there are bad times to use some words, and there are no good times to use some words when you're a kid.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know it can seem hypocritical, but I think it's fine to tell your kids that dad is allowed to say some words that they are not.
Right.
Dad's allowed to do lots of things they aren't. It may not be as weird a concept for them as it seems. I wouldn't tell the kid cussing is sinful. I'd tell them it's rude and inappropriate in certain settings.
Right.
Tough situation. You can parent your child, but you can't parent your husband. So unless you had a clear understanding with your husband before you married him, then definitely avoid nagging and making it a source of conflict. Appeal for him to respect your preferences out of love, not something you were trying to force. Parent your child, set the standard and consequences, and stick to it. Turn off YouTube if it's an issue. Try to separate your personal preferences from moral issues. Of course, obeying his mother is a moral issue for your child. Now I have 2 young adult sons. One of them is grown up basically never or very rarely cussing, and the other does sometimes. I don't see it as a major character difference between them, just personal style. My husband is a sailor. Sound familiar?
Ship life, if you were wondering. What is this? He just throwing it in.
We are not a swearing household, and I will not tolerate it. I have 2 active duty kids, and I know what they are exposed to, but they know they will never be old enough to swear in front of me. As minors, I'm the parent, and if they had cussed, there would be punishment.
Next. This bores me.
I'm really on this subject lately. It's been very interesting to me. So
I'm aware. Nice face.
Your face.
Hey, yo, John Morris. They gon' feel it. Woo. They gon' feel it. Yeah. They gon' feel
So
Put me in your headphones, I'm not one you wanna bump. Leave this all alone if that trauma has you stuck. I'll probably kill your vibe while you're high. I'm not trying to be an escape hatch. You can blast to drive away your anxiety. This is truth in essence. Feel the presence of the Most High. I'm not loaning out a dream of banking like I'm so fly. The thoughts inside your dome are spinning in the nosedive. Thinking you can vibe in a broken world like it's just lo-fi. Feel the weight of the world. I'm passing through the crowd, staying so silent, but my headphones so loud they can hear a glimpse but can't grasp what I'm thumping. What is this song saying? Maybe he's onto something. Maybe dudes making music can't describe what I'm stuck in. Maybe fools bragging about the stuff are really bluffing. They gon' feel it. Yeah. They gon' feel it. Put me in your headphones, I'm not one you wanna bump. Leave this all alone if that trauma has you stuck. I'll probably kill your vibe while you're high. I'm not trying to be an escape.